guys, this is John, and I'm playing JBJ in the 5-minute pool on ICC. I played this player in a Scandinavian not long ago, and what are we going to have this time? It's a Nimzo-Indian. Okay, in the D5 variation, I'll play knight f3 against that, and I'm going to play a gambit line. This is mostly played by Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, actually. And what do I do after h6? Do I play bishop h4 or do I take on f6? I think I take on f6. Do I? Yeah, let's do that. So I'm just trying to fianchetto my bishop and proceed from there. Play c5. And I think taking is fine.
Check.
And we're maybe going for a trade of queens. I think that's okay by me. He's playing pretty quick. I can go knight d2 if I want to recover the pawn on c4. I could also play c6 if I want to sabotage their structure. Maybe I should go c6, take, and then knight d4. How about that? Seems pretty good. Yeah, let's do that and really try to take it to their pawn structure. But yeah, I think this player is about 2,300 USCF, as I recall, based on their finger notes. Okay, so do I take on c6 right away? Yeah, let's do that first. I was thinking about maybe rook b1 first, but taking is fine. I'm threatening knight e7 right now. Now maybe I can castle, keep my king on the queen side. Looks like the swiftest way to connect the rooks too. Let's do that. They can play knight c5 if they want to keep me at bay. I'm not sure about knight b6. What if I just trade all the rooks off? So take d8, he takes rook d1. We trade king f8, king d2 maybe, king e7, king e3, king d6. He gets to the center pretty quick. Let's go here. If rook b8, I'm not sure I'm going to play king a3. I might. I'm not entirely sure about that yet. Okay, let's just play bishop f3. He can give a check. So now that might keep my king at bay a little bit. So I have to play king c2 now. Just goes back. Okay, let's play rook d4. We're just going to double up. I'm not sure about putting the rook over to the b file or anything. He's already got a pretty nice time advantage. Okay, we'll just double. He takes, we take. Yeah, they're going to bring their king to the center. Let's bring this up. For c7, I can go here and maybe tie them down. Let's play f4 now. Okay. Not sure about my bishop. My bishop is actually looking kind of shaky right now. I played king b2, so after rook a5, I can take the pawn on c4, but I don't know about this.
Check.
Knight a4. Okay, so if king a3, they take king b4. Is that anything? Probably not. Let's repeat once, just see what their intentions are. They might want to play for a win. I would certainly think about it if I was him. Like maybe e5 is decent. Because e5 I take. Really, they're going to do it this way. Not sure about that at all. Okay, let's go e4, see if we can get him to trade. Wow, they're actually going for this trade. See, now I think this c-pawn's in trouble. How do they defend that pawn? Maybe f5? Just to try to carve out a square on d5 for the knight. Very, very surprised how they're handling this. If f5, maybe e5 is what I should do.
Check.
Okay, so they're trying to go, Yeah, they're trying to play knight over to c3. Like if king a3, they had knight c3 attacking the e-pawn. But I can go here and I'm still attacking the pawn. Yeah, now maybe just this. Knight b6, I'm purely up a pawn. What? You're going to get your knight trapped, dude. Maybe not. So I take, they go knight d1 check, king f2. Okay, that's a risk we'll have to take.
Check.
Let's bring this back. Then go here. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to out and out trap their knight, but I'm going to escape up a pawn and hopefully go about the task of winning this. Okay, let's just do that. Just make sure they can't take our bishop. Getting ready for king e2. Maybe I had king e2 on the previous move. It would have been strong on the previous move because they couldn't trade on d3. I think it's still good though. Because if knight g4, I have h3. And if knight f6, e5. So now their knight gets trapped. Yeah, come over and take it. Yeah. Yeah, he played that a little superficially. We can pre-move or just take that pawn now. Yeah, his knight's trapped. He resigned. Okay. All right, yeah, I think he definitely blew some chances when the rooks were on board. There was no reason to trade rooks with me. Let's go back and have a look. So queen c2 Nimzo. Most of the time I take on d5, but in this one I just felt like playing a gambit. So take and then bishop g5. I've seen Mamedyarov play this line a few times. So I don't know that it's very good for white, but it's unique. I don't know if I played it correctly after h6. Bishop takes, queen takes. Yeah, maybe I should have just played conventionally with e3, defending the d4 pawn again and getting ready for bishop takes c4. In this line, they often do fianchetto, but here it might be misplaced. Yeah, like what happens if knight c6? I was thinking like probably rook d1 if they did that. But I still have to win the c4 pawn back. And to do that, I probably first need to play bishop g2 and castles. And even then, it might be difficult. So castles, bishop g2, c5 I took. Probably knight d7 right away. Yeah, that's a better option. Keep this pin for a move. What
Check.
they do, take on c3 immediately.
Check.
And now we just have a endgame with chances for both sides, I think. So I'm going to recover my pawn. Knight takes c6. I thought I'd be a little bit better in this endgame, especially since I was able to castle and keep my king closer to the center than his. But it's a delicate matter. I mean, my bishop might get dominated by his knight if I'm not careful. I think that very nearly happened in the game. King b2 seems kind of weak. The computer was suggesting this move, just trying to get in a5. What if rook c8 then? Rook d6. Yeah, I need a precise way to keep my edge, if there is any, at this point. Otherwise, it's going to dissipate and I'm going to have nothing. So a4 maybe was the way to go. a4, f5, king c2. What's the plan? I would assume just trying to go a5. Why wouldn't I play that on the previous move? Just knight d5. King c2. It feels like black should be able to hold it. But yeah, a4 is a more pressing or a more testing decision than just playing king b2. Now I back my bishop
Check.
off. He went check. King c2, knight back. I could play a4. That move crossed my mind. Idea, knight takes a4, rook a1, and I'm going to win the a7 pawn. I just didn't think it was very exciting. But given the position I had, it is beneficial to trade the a-pawns, I think. Rook d4, he went here. Again, the computer's suggesting a4. So we swapped. Even here I should take with my c-pawn, huh? Okay. I was hesitant to give up the file, especially after I had doubled. Like, if I intended to take with the c-pawn, I probably would have played rook b1, so that I wouldn't just end up with a useless rook behind this pawn. It could go on a open file instead. So double, we take out the rook. Yeah, this looks about equal, though. This was probably not a good idea. Bring the bishop over to a6. I played this to stop e5. Yeah, now I'm worse, because I got my bishop in a bit of a conundrum by playing bishop b7 to a6. I should have kept it on its longer diagonal. I thought I could tie him down to c4, but in fact my bishop is the one that's being tied down. I thought he should do something with his pawns right now. I didn't see g5 as the engine was saying, but I thought about e5. And then if fe rook takes, if I take c4, he's going to take e2 and go win h2. I guess I might be able to win a7 after that.
Check.
But as far as who's better here, hard to say. Maybe black, just because of the extra pawn he's going to have and the connected pawns. Although my a pawn provides a counter argument, at least, to black being better. But he should do something like that. Like he had a lot of time. He could have slowed down and tried to find something stronger, but this is a young player. I think maybe he was just playing sort of impulsively, like knight a4 back to b6 doesn't really do much. I would have been okay with a draw here if he had repeated. I don't think I have grounds to play for a win. I wonder if king a3 is possible. Maybe it is. And if he takes king b4. I don't know if I saw king b4. I think I did, but I just assumed, like, with my rook hanging, that it wouldn't be that good. But I guess I cover everything. Maybe I would have found that if he had decided to repeat, and I would have to decide whether to take the draw or not. But I was pretty much of the mind that I was worse here, and the draw might be okay. So he did rook d5, and I played e4, and much to my surprise, he just took. That's a clear mistake. I expressed my shock about that decision during the game, and he played that in 2 seconds as well. Yeah, he should move his rook anywhere along the 5th rank. That's safe. So h5, c5, a5. One of those moves, I think. Well, maybe not a5 because I can take this pawn, but c5 or h5. h5 counterattacks the h2 pawn. But yeah, he took, and now it's very likely he'll just lose this c pawn.
Check.
Gave a check. I played king c2. I thought maybe f5 was his best chance. So, for instance, take king c3, maybe check. If I take here, you can go check and try to get into f1, although my bishop does cover that square after I move my king. So he could be suffering here, but I thought he should do something active with his knights to try to go gather a kingside pawn or two before he's just down a pawn with no comp.
Check.
As played, though, he got his knight all bamboozled. Yeah, he did, what, knight d1 check here. And then knight f2, I played my bishop back to d3. And in here, I could have done away with bishop c2. I don't need that move. I could play king e2 right away for a similar reason. If knight here, I have h3, and knight f6 runs into e5 again. So he'd be forced to play like knight h3 or something. His knight is also on a horrible square there. Very nearly trapped, right? Yeah, I would doubt he can save this. He has to give up another pawn, and yeah, should be losing. I'm up 2 pawns now, and he has no compensation. So bishop c2 wasn't quite necessary. Note that if I had played king e2, the engine's actually saying knight takes d3 is his best move. That move is equivalent to resigning. Knight takes d3. That just leads to a losing pawn endgame. Don't be fooled by the engine only, quote-unquote, only giving 2 points something. That eval is going to climb the longer you give it to think. This is just a totally winning pawn endgame for white. So, yeah, now he needed to recognize that king e2 was on the horizon and do something about that ASAP. Although it's tough. I don't know if he has a defense now. But he used to g6, king e2 here. Yep, and no knight f6 in view of e5 winning. So his knight got trapped in the corner. Okay, so once again I win an endgame against this player, but I didn't play particularly well in the opening and early middle game phase of this one. It's just, I think they mainly played superficially and gave me lots of chances.
Check.
So this should be close to equal. It's nothing special for white. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I'll be back tomorrow with another Blitz game. Talk to you guys later. Bye.